Alexander Volkanovski previews his title fight against Diego Lopez. The former featherweight champion has gone through significant changes in his career since his first fight with Islam Makhachev 2 years ago. He went from riding a 22-fight winning streak and being pound-for-pound #1 to losing 3 out of his last 4 fights. His last win came against Yair Rodriguez in his final title defense, and then he went on to get finished by Islam and Ilia Topuria back-to-back. For the first time in his career, Volkanovski's durability and especially ability to absorb damage to the head are being questioned. The Topuria finish was especially bad, causing Alex to even consider retirement. But fast forward to now, he's fighting Diego Lopez for the vacant featherweight belt after Topuria decided to move up to lightweight and test himself there. We're less than a month out from that fight, which will headline the upcoming Miami card, and this one will give us answers on the most interesting questions regarding Volk's future and the state of the featherweight division. Here's what he had to say about facing another dangerous striker for the vacant belt.
Him even talk about maybe moving up. I'm like, is this just negotiations? Like, what's going on? So I didn't think too much in it. So we're still game planning for Ilia. And then you're hearing, could it maybe be Lopez? And then I'm like, so by this stage, I'm like, all right, just give me anyone now. So it was, my first option obviously would have been Ilia. But then it got to a point where I don't care, just make sure I'm fighting for a title at this date because I don't want to wait any longer. I wanted to, I want to get that win back, but I also want to prove that I can beat this new school.
Yeah.
And I want to do that with Ilia. He's gone, but I can still do that with the new school. I can still, part of my comeback story is still that I can take out this new school. I still got these guys, trust me. So it's that's still good for my story. Lopez, young, hungry, he's on a tear at the moment. Go out and do that and be like, oh wow, Volk still got it.
Big John McCarthy and Josh Thompson react to rumors of Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway trilogy fight being in the works. With Dustin's retirement looming over his final fight in the UFC, the former interim champ at lightweight has been clear about what he's looking for in the last fight of his career. And while UFC prefers to squeeze what they can from guys in Poirier's position who are on their way out, by matching them up with prospects who will benefit from extra eyes on them, and especially, in case of victory, get some hype around them. Dustin's case is a bit different. He's only willing to take a fight with another legend, as he puts it, and is even willing to walk away if he's not offered that kind of a retirement fight. Recently, Benny Dariush said during an interview that he was told UFC is working on Poirier versus Holloway 3. Benny's manager is Ali Abdelaziz, who would have that kind of knowledge, and likely that's where he got the information from. If true, Dana is preparing an exciting announcement for fans, who certainly can't complain about one of the most entertaining fights that can be made in the division.
I think it's a perfect fight. Perfect fight for his retirement fight. Tough fight. Max coming off, the devastating knockout loss to Ilia.
Yeah.
And I look at Dustin and it's a good fight for him. He's got the win over him already, twice? The win over him twice. Yep. So, if you're looking for a fight to give it like a last hurrah, farewell, they're going to stand, they're going to trade. Doesn't have to worry about him trying to hit submissions and take him down. Like it's going to be a fucking knockdown drag out. I think the main thing to take away from this though, John, is the UFC's doing him a solid. I guess from what I understand, they're trying to do it in New Orleans and he wants to retire where it all started. And
that's awesome. I understand why Max wants the fight. I would understand. Why does Dustin want that fight? What does it? I understand he looks at it. It's a legend fight. And I think he's right. Mm-hmm. Okay, but you've already got 2 wins against that guy, and this is not a guy that you look and you go, "This can be an easy fight."
No.
You're talking Max Holloway.
No.
Islam Makhachev's team announces his next fight, and it's not the one that most of us expected or wanted to see next, but still something that we'll gladly watch. He's going to fight Justin Gaethje next. And this is coming from his coach, Javier Mendez, who felt the need to correct the false rumors about him fighting Ilia Topuria next, on a card which would also have Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. This became a thing on social media after Chimaev's teammate stated with confidence that he has reliable information about 2 massive title fights being on the same UFC card in June. But according to Javier Mendez, this is all nonsense, and Islam will fight Justin next. First, here's what Chimaev's teammate Rasul Shamsudinov said talking to a Russian reporter that started the rumor. Quote, Topuria and Makhachev will fight on the same day as Khamzat Chimaev. 2 title fights will take place on the same day. This will be the biggest UFC event of the year. Khamzat versus du Plessis and Topuria versus Makhachev. It's not official yet, but soon it will be announced. I give Topuria a 60% chance of victory. I just gave you some big news. End quote. This made some noise on social media, and the story started getting bigger not only on the Russian side of things. So, in an exclusive interview with a Russian channel Low Kick, Makhachev's coach Javier Mendez denied any of this being true, and instead revealed that Islam will be fighting Justin Gaethje. Quote, "Don't believe everything they say. We are now concentrating on Justin Gaethje. He's got a big name, and he's still very dangerous. This is what's next. Islam can also strike with anybody, so it's a completely different fight than when Khabib fought Justin. We're excited for this one." End quote. Kamaru Usman doesn't appreciate the forced narrative of Magomed Ankalaev being a wrestler, and a strange question from a reporter to the newly crowned light heavyweight champion. With his victory over Alex Pereira, the Dagestani achieved his lifelong goal of winning UFC gold, but things are about to get only heated up. The company is already actively working on setting a rematch between himself and Alex, and there are many other contenders waiting in the wings as well. Jan is also back after long layoff, and if he beats Carlos Ulberg in a fight that will take place in just days from now, he can become the frontrunner for the next title shot, and having a draw with Magomed only helps his case. Ankalaev is still a striker, and failing to take Alex down even one time didn't help some people's preferred narrative of him being an elite wrestler who just chooses not to use it inside of the octagon. Kamaru talks about this misconception and shares why he was annoyed at a reporter's question to Ankalaev following his victory over Pereira.
First of all, we all love Bovisa Satia because we come from the world of wrestling. Ankalaev don't really wrestle. He's not wrestling. They kind of put that on him though. And I thought that was like, yes, let him come out and say that. I felt like whoever reporter that asked him that question, they put that on him to where he had no choice but to say, yeah. They were like, will you be dedicating this fight to him? Like, come on, let me fight. What if, had he, God forbid, but let's say he lost his dog or his uncle or maybe his father at that same moment. Like, how are you going to put that on him? And he knows what he wants to dedicate the fight to. So whoever that reporter was who says, hey, will you be dedicating this fight to Bovisa Satia because he just passed away and this and that? He's he's a Russian legend. Of course he's going to say, yeah, sure, since you put that on me. But what if his grandma passed away and he wanted to dedicate the fight to his grandma? So I love the fact that, yes, he did go with it and say, yeah, I dedicate this to him.